All right, I think we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Anchorman here, back with another episode of Multiverse No Longer Podcast. We are rebranding ourselves to the Multiverse Show. You guys can go check us out on Twitter. And there we go. It's sounding off while we've still got time left. Rip Google effects. Oh, man. Anyway, guys, we got a couple things we want to talk about tonight because it's going to be packed with stuff to talk about. But first off, I want to introduce my show co-hosts. We got our newest member to the show. We got Mike.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike P. The Truth. Check me out on the Inner Circle at ticgn.com, where I've mainly been writing opinion pieces for the site. And in other news, I'm supposed to eat a baby on tonight's show. So if nobody produces a baby, I'm going to be disappointed.
I've got two. You can have one of them.
No comment.
We got a 3-year-old if that counts as a baby.
Promo tweets are glorious. All right, we got our sound master general. We got James.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy James. I'm quite tired. Just got back from a rally against somebody that you all know who it is. Yes, at James_S Wilson. Come talk to me on the Twitters about films, Radiohead, and how amazing Resident Evil 7 is.
All right. And we got my co-host for the evening. Stupid sounds. Sorry, ads on YouTube. That's what I get for self-promotion. Anyway, what I was saying earlier, my co-host for the evening were the original three. Nick.
What's going on, guys? You can follow me on Twitter at Undead3XVI. You can follow me on Xbox and watch me beat your gamer scores.
Oh, God. The only person who's beating you right now, at least on mine, is Xbox Quick or Mikey Barra.
Oh, you kidding me? He got past me now? Oh,
I think so.
Damn it.
I get to work. All right, we got our guest for the evening. We got Phil the Gamer, finally. First time appearance. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
They're pretty good. Tell us about yourself a little bit. Pimp yourself out.
Okay. Malfunction.
Great start.
Shit. I'm a little rusty. So I've been a gamer most of my life. I probably like 3 or 4, so like preschool age. Been on YouTube for about 3 years, just doing my thing. Always trying to improve. I try to push for consumer rights, calling out BS in the industry. I'm a very vocal person, very opinionated, but at the same time, I like to back up my things with factual statements.
All right, that's pretty solid to me, man. All right, so let's get started for the evening. We're going to start with a little bit of old news. We start off with the news that kind of, at least in this terms of this show, because we do our show on Mondays, the original greatest show on Mondays, because there was nobody else doing shows on Mondays back then. So anyway, let's talk about Resident Evil real quick. So James, you ditched us to go see the Resident Evil launch, right?
I did, yes.
Tell us about that. How was it?
Well, it was in a pub. It was the most British thing in the world. It was in a pub, and some people were playing live stream, and we were being narrated by a drunk Welshman. It was unbelievably British, and I loved it. I got a T-shirt, and a bunch of Resident Evil swag because I played on the stream very well, may I add. Only because I was playing a section that I'd already played before, but there we go. Yeah, so Resident Evil 7 sold 2.5 million copies in its first 3 days.
That's pretty good.
That's amazing. For an 18 rated game that isn't Grand Theft Auto, that's very impressive.
But it is also Resident Evil, and I believe Resident Evil 5 was one of Capcom's best-selling games. So, I mean,
yeah, but that was one of the Capcom's best-selling games because they marketed it brilliantly, and it was available on loads of different consoles.
True.
Loads of different consoles at launch, which is the same for Resident Evil 7. It doesn't have any console exclusive content apart from PlayStation VR, obviously. which I have played and is the most terrifying thing in the world. And I genuinely mean that. This is this is the only thing currently that I would say if you haven't got VR, get it to play this. But you have to be really brave.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm kind of that kind of person when it comes to horror games. It's got to be great. Like it has to be like I'm into scary things at the same time. Like I Alien Isolation, I think was a good balance of that. But I'm more of I like the influence of survival horror in regular AAA titles. I'm more like the influence of it rather than playing it itself. Resident Evil looks interesting to me. I'm probably going to pick it up probably at the end of this year when it's on sale a little bit. I'm not totally sold on it just yet. I'm going to wait, see how it goes.
I've been very much excited to play this game. It's just short on funds right now, but
yeah.
I did rent it the other night and streamed it for like about an hour and 40 minutes, and so far I thought it was pretty good. I was getting a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes from the game, with the family and the way it opens up. I don't want to spoil anything, so
And where it's set.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah, actually, from what I've had hands-on experience with it, from the very little experience I've had with it, gave me like a really House of a Thousand Corpses kind of feel to it. I really enjoyed it. It was really well done for the bit I played.
No, keep going.
One of the biggest things that really shocked me with that game is like the past few Resident Evil games have played more like shooters. This game shocked me with, like, I can't go into details because it spoils, like, you can't talk about horror games past the opening sequence because it just ruins it.
Yeah.
But like some of the characters and some of the chase scenes felt so authentic. And all I've got to say is I'm looking forward to playing and beating the game, but what I'm not looking forward to is speed running the game for achievements or doing all the collectible hunting while trying to still run for my life. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Like, you played a lot. Tell us what you think.
Right, and I mean, I have it, and I played about 2 hours of it over the weekend. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that it has that House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, this type of vibe to it. And I definitely get that. I'm trying to say without spoiling too much. When I first started it, I got a little bit of an Outlast vibe from it, but that didn't last long. And I don't think the entire game is going to be like that either. I was shocked at how similar it is in so many ways to the very first Resident Evil. Because
I was going to say that.
Because, you know,
it's the closest thing we've got to the first one since the original.
Right. And as far as knowing, like, okay, this is the Scorpion key door, so I know I got to backtrack here after I get the Scorpion key. Or there's one puzzle very early in the game, once you get to the main hall, where you solve the puzzle. It's like, man, that is such a Resident Evil puzzle. You know what I mean? So I'm really enjoying it so far.
Is that the one with the eagle?
Yes, the shadow puzzle.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like, man, that is such a Resident Evil puzzle.
I was going to say, I don't want to spoil anything, but the shock, like when you first find a shotgun and it involves a statue. But that reminded me a lot of the first game, and I was like, "Oh wow!" Like, and there's just like from what I've played, there was just a lot of little callbacks to the originals, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, item boxes, safe rooms, even like the like relaxing music in the safe room. There's little touches like that. It really makes it. And then there's the videotape aesthetic, which is genius game design.
It really is.
Pure, and I don't use that word lightly. It is a genius way to show you what not to do. I think it's a really early contender for Game of the Year, and I know it's way too early to be talking about that, considering we're 1 month in and Horizon is just on the dawn.
Horizon's just on the horizon.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say that. I'm really tired.
All right, I'm glad you guys have really good impressions of this game. I'm gonna wait for it. Like I said, personally, I'm not really into those kinds of games. Like I'll play them, but I'm not super into them. But I'm glad I'm getting a lot of good positive vibes from it from you guys. I'm really impressed with that.
If you got PlayStation VR, would you buy this game to play it?
Probably no.
I would. I mean,
Actually, that's really funny.
after seeing some. Oh, go ahead.
That's actually really funny because me and the wife were talking about getting a PS4, and I was debating on getting Resident Evil 7 on my Xbox. But I think I'm actually going to hold off because the wife actually wants to get VR eventually. So I may hold off picking up the game until I get VR so I can truly just cry in a corner in a pile of goo.
I think get the game on PS4 because you never know, you might find a way to get VR. You know?
Yeah, for me, I rented it on the PS4, and I had my first impressions were really good of the game, and then I started watching other people playing the game, and they're playing in VR. I'm like, this looks really, really good. And like, how much is PSVR? Like $400? Like, I mean, that sounds like something I would like to try in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I played the Lantern demo, which is the Lantern videotape, the first videotape you find. The beginning hour and the kitchen experience. I've done them all in VR, and what strikes you is that even if you just do the beginning hour, which I'm sure you've all played, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know everything about that. You know where the scares are. You know where the items are. You know where the enemies are. The moment you put the headset on, it's all scary again, even though you know exactly where everything is. That's how brilliantly, like, we talked about game design, we talked about level design. I want to talk about sound design and music, because I would go as far to say that of all the games I've played, this has the best sound design ever. And I mean that. And you're talking to somebody who studies music and sound production, so I know what I'm talking about. You know, The Last of Us with the right headphones on is brilliant. The same for Uncharted. This, even without headphones on, is some of the most brilliant sound design I've ever seen in a video game.
It
and
is
I
because
think people should look at this game in the future to how to do sound design properly.
it is the way that you could just be walking around and you hear these random bumps and creaks and things like that.
And 8 out of 10 times, it's you.
Yep. And most of the time in the game, there's no music at all, which is another thing that's really unique, especially if you compare it to past Resident Evil games. Like, there's no music most of the time when you're just walking around exploring. So it gives the sense that it's literally just you in this house.
It's so good, man.
Now, I have to ask you something, James, about VR.
Yes.
How is the motion sickness handled? Like, did you get dizzy or anything like that?
Not at all, actually. I'm pretty good in VR of what I played. I played Drive Club and the London Heist, and I was absolutely fine. The only time I've ever felt motion sickness in VR is when I was playing Rigs and I hadn't eaten breakfast. That's the only time I just wasn't, my body wasn't prepared for it. But every other time I've been absolutely fine. Another good thing about the VR is aiming, actually, because when you have a gun in VR, you aim by where you look, as opposed to using a right stick. So aiming is really intuitive, and it makes headshots quite easy.
Yep. All right. So moving along a little bit, just kind of getting back to trying to clear out some of the old news, getting to some of the new stuff. One of the things that happened last week in particular was the announcement of a partnership between Marvel and Square Enix. We've had a few more details come out since then. We know that Eidos Montreal, who worked on Deus Ex, and Crystal Dynamics, who worked on Tomb Raider, are now partnering up inside Square Enix to work on a Avengers game. And I am so pumped about that. I'm so happy they're finally remaking an Avengers game.
I'm looking at an article right here, and it says that it's not going to be a one-off game, and they plan to make it into a franchise and it will be multi-year, multi-game partnership kind of thing.
Oh gosh, like I know, like when the news came out, there was a lot of rumors about what it was going to be, and one of them was they thought it was going to be an MMO, and I don't know how that would be because you got two developers who don't really make MMO games. working on this. I don't see it being. I see it could be a franchise, but maybe not an MMO.
When I first heard it was Square Enix, a part of me really wanted it to be like a JRPG, but with the Avengers. Which doesn't sound like the worst game in the world, let's be honest. But then when I saw Crystal Dynamics, I thought, oh, okay, so it's the Avengers, but with the Tomb Raider engine.
Mm.
So it's gonna be Laura Croft skinned as Captain America.
Black Widow, mate.
Okay, I can live with that.
It's almost as if like with this Avengers game now, and before we did the podcast today, I was watching a video from, I think it was What Culture Gaming, where they were basically running down like,
good lads, they bought me beer if you'd like to go.
Oh, well, small world then. Well, anyway, they were running down, and they were saying that like it's almost like Marvel is going up to these developers' doors and like knocking, like, hey, you want to make a Marvel game? You want to make a Marvel game? It kind of feels like that. And another thing they were talking about is they actually denied that when they announced the Avengers game, it was rumored by some that the Spider-Man PS4 game would exist in that universe, and that's not true. The Spider-Man PS4 game that Insomniac is developing, that's going to be a completely standalone game, separate from this. So,
I was really hoping if there was ever going to be a studio that was going to take on an Avengers game and would make it really awesome, I would have thought. I think it's Sucker Punch Studios. They would have made a really good Avengers game.
Rocksteady would have made it brilliant, man.
I only want Rocksteady to make a Spider-Man game. I think they could give it the gravitas and the this excellent design. They could really nail that. Do a real dark Spider-Man game. Just totally.
I don't know, man. Insomniac looks really good.
Yeah, I was.
Insomniac's really good. I mean, but at this point, as a Spider-Man fan, I'm like a battered housewife. I don't know what to do.
This could be the best Spider-Man year ever.
I really want it to be good, but I've been taken advantage of, man. I don't trust it anymore.
You've got the film to fall back on.
Yeah, I do. But
and also look at the fact that it's not Activision anymore. It's not Activision. It'll be okay.
I know it's not Activision, but all men are the same. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, but my
amazing Spider-Man game.
Yeah. I don't know with Square taking on Avengers game, like, big questions. What kind of game is it going to be? Who are you going to play?
Well, it's got to be. There's got to be squad focus. We know that much. Like,
do you think it could be like
an
the
Avengers game where you can only play as one character is dumb.
No, watch it be an Avengers game where you don't even get to play the Avengers. That'd be the best.
Here's the thing: is it going to be better than Lego Avengers?
No.
Well, that's the benchmark. That's the thing. Because if this doesn't work, then we still have the best Avengers game.
Well, Ultimate Alliance was kind of an Avengers game.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Do you think it could be like Ultimate Alliance and Ultimate Alliance 2? So,
well, I thought of kind of ideally if it was kind of like Final Fantasy 15, where there's a group of you and your friends can play too, and you have your crew that's with you.
Oh,
you level them up.
Yeah.
But you're all kind of like in this slightly open world-ish setting.
Oh, just get the Avengers and put them in the Final Fantasy 15. Just put it in there.
it could work.
Have them fight. Have them fight Noctis and his boys.
Oh my god! No, Tony Stark rolling in the regalia.
Yeah, he just sees the regalia, then he goes off and comes back in like a car that he's built. He's like, "Yeah, this is mine. It's better than yours." And then he sees it fly, and he's like, "Damn it!"
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
Do you think they'll get the voices?
I don't think it'll be the movie characters. Like that's the big thing about this is that Marvel is saying these are not movie universes; these are totally different things.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was like MCU.
They are not movie licensed games.
Oh well, then
thank God.
I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll finally get a good representation of the X-Men.
The one thing I hope,
They're not
the
magicians.
one thing that would kill this is that they do any exclusivity BS with anyone. Like, if they do anything, we're like, oh, buy it on this system and you get an exclusive costume. Nope. Like that.
It's Square Enix.
I don't want to see them do that at all.
Sony exclusive.
If there was to be
Yeah.
a version of this game in VR, who would you want to be?
The Hulk.
Probably Iron Man.
Nah, mate. Motion sickness. You'll die. You'll
But at
die.
least in VR though, because like Hulk, I mean, oh boy, I look
That'd be-
around and jump. Maybe that'd be pretty cool. But like be able to fly, and with the UI going on, oh my god, that would be fun.
Maybe.
I feel like that'd be so badass. Anyway, so the other thing that came out lately, it's also been revealed that I think it's Eidos Montreal will also be working on the Guardians of the Galaxy game with Telltale. Which,
What?
yeah,
Tell me more about
apparently
that.
They're teaming up with Telltale for this.
That's exciting.
Wait, what?
I don't even know
I
what
missed
to
that too.
Like that's probably the biggest piece of news I saw. Like I'm genuinely interested about it. Let me pull it up real quick.
No, I'm with you there. That is really interesting. I just wonder how. Wait, what? Wait, so we're like,
So is it-
are Eidos Montreal going to do all the gameplay and Telltale going to write it?
I really hope that would be the case.
If that's the
If that
case,
happens,
Game of
that
the Year
could be
there.
amazing, or it could be a dumpster fire.
Well, here's the big issue, like I've said every single time, is I'm so sick of Telltale because they do the same kind of gameplay all around. And I've said this before, I'm not buying Guardians of the Galaxy until
I'm right there with you.
until they try something different. Like I've said this consistently, I will not buy a Telltale game until they try doing a different type of gameplay style. Anything.
I'm right there with you. Like I am so tired of it. Like I completely ignored Batman. I didn't finish The Walking Dead season 2. What were the other games? Tales from the Borderlands. Yeah, I didn't care for that. I didn't even
Game of Thrones.
touch it. Didn't touch it because I'm tired of the formula. Just done with it. But if I mean like what you guys suggested, if it's like Crystal Dynamics doing the gameplay and
Eidos Montreal.
or Eidos Montreal, my bad.
Yeah, you should feel bad.
Lol. But
So I'm
it's,
sorry, Phil. This is your first time. You're not used to me. I'm sorry.
it's fine. I'm not triggered, I promise. But if it's Eidos Montreal and Telltale doing the story, then I would be pretty interested to see what comes of that. But if it's vice versa, then I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'd have to see more.
Well, here's the article recently. It came out from Kotaku. So it came out that they have a source inside that says that Deus Ex Mankind, a sequel to that, has been canceled
Good.
for Mankind Divided. And they said that they are they're going to be working on 2 major games. They're working on Shadow of the Tomb Raider with Crystal Dynamics. And they're going to be working on the Marvel game as well as Guardians of the Galaxy. So, like I said before, that sounds amazing to me. Like if, like I said, I just want different gameplay. Anything. It could be a puzzle platformer for all I care. Just something different, please. Dear God, listen to me, Telltale. Try something different. That's all you got to do. Like it's so funny because we got developers like Gearbox who they keep trying to do something different. And everyone's like, no, go do Borderlands. Go back to Borderlands. They're like, but we have so many cool ideas. We want to try something different. And then all of a sudden, you got Telltale, and everyone's like, they're like, oh, we don't need new ideas. We'll just get a different IP to the same game again. And it's like, you bastards.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is the way the Telltale works their storylines and anything else, they couldn't take it anywhere else with how they have their current ideas, how they write and do their games. The gameplay matches how they write, not how they Like you tell me you do. If anyone's played that Batman game, you take that Batman game and try to turn it into any other game and try to make it work. Keeping in mind the Telltale is also a small studio. They're not a huge. They're
big enough to publish some games. They do some publishing.
I was gonna say that they published 7 Days to Die on console, I think.
And the Jackbox Party Pack.
Yeah, that too.
What's everyone's favorite Telltale game, and why is it The Walking Dead Season 1?
Because it was free.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Hey, was it free? When was it free? Oh, games were gold.
The first episode.
I know they did a.
I was gonna say I've played every Telltale game except for all of the Batman ones.
Telltale did a really clever thing a few months ago because it was the Walking Dead Season 2 was free on PS Plus, and they immediately put Season 1 on half price. So everyone got Season 2 and bought Season 1. Genius.
Yeah. All right. So moving right along a little bit, move on to some different topics. So something happened earlier today that I didn't think apparently was that big of a deal. Apparently some are taking it a little out of proportion. So,
and that is,
I know what it is.
Scorpio for a bit. I am so sick of talking about Scorpio. Honestly, I am so sick of it. Like, unfortunately, it has dominated the news cycle for pretty much everyone for the last 6 to 7 months. I'm so sick of talking about this, but we're gonna talk about it. So.
Isn't it annoying that we can theorize and hypothesize about the Switch for months and months on end, and it's really fun because we know it's going to be something different, whereas the new one we know it's just going to be a big black box,
or maybe a white box.
It's going to be a black box,
or is it?
Well, yes, all new consoles are black boxes,
except the 360
and the PlayStation 1.
I said new.
Well, I mean,
the 360 was white. You're racist.
They could totally go out of left field and make it aluminum unibody.
Ooh. I vote for.
Actually, no. You know what? You know what they need to do? No. You know what they need to do? They need to do an all chrome Xbox Scorpio for $799. I need $300 worth of chrome on my console,
and like a gold scorpion embossed on the top of it.
Oh, God.
Yes, see, Michael gets this. We need $1,000 console with that on
exactly.
it.
Wait, we need a console designed by the cartels?
Yes.
Is that what we need?
It. That's exactly.
You know what? I'm making fun of that. That sounds badass.
All right, so what ends up happening is that you had Phil Spencer, who was going out there again, talking about stuff, the usual. I mean, it's not a big deal, honestly. But apparently what he had said is something along the lines of, do not pre-order the Scorpio. So do not pre-order the Scorpio. Wait until you see the games we have first. Wait.
That's a recipe for disaster.
And so, I don't know, if I were just to tell you that, if I were just say, he says, don't pre-order the Scorpio, wait until you see the games we got out and what it can do. What do you interpret that as?
I would
That's
interpret
such a
it that
weird sentence.
I mean, my first reaction is he's confident enough. Phil Spencer is confident enough in the product that he's telling you, wait and see what we show, because he's confident that what they have to show is good and that you're going to want to pre-order it based off of that versus just speculation. That's the way that I take it.
If he's come out and said, wait till we've got to show, and I agree with you that he sounds overconfident, surely he would tell people to pre-order because of how confident he is.
That's what I was thinking. Like, why would you tell someone not to buy your product?
Yeah, this is my thing. It doesn't. The two things don't make sense. Isn't it weird? Phil Spencer saying something that doesn't make sense about Xbox. Weird.
Actually, the thing is this actually does make sense. If you actually read it, if you read through it and you think about it, it makes sense. Like everyone's saying reading it that, they're just going to, Xbox is trying to push out Scorpio, pull out of the console market, and just be done with it. And they're all basing this off a 2-sentence tweet. But what I got from the Phil Spencer tweet is that you shouldn't be pre-ordering something that you haven't seen, specs on it, you don't know what games are on it. You shouldn't be trying to pre-order something like that. Why would you pre-order something you know absolutely nothing about?
He's not community manager. His job isn't to manage expectations. His job is to sell consoles.
Exactly, like that. He should want you to buy it before you see it. That's the whole point of selling the product. You hype it up so people buy it before it comes out.
Yeah, but see, the thing is you gotta realize, if anyone remembers on Twitter about 2 months back when Microsoft did that whole thing where they had 4K HDR with the Xbox One S, and Aaron Greenberg tweeted out a tweet about how it was full 4K HDR support on Xbox and blah, 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 blah. Well, people accused him of false advertising. There was a whole, Microsoft falsely marketing their products and that they're anti-consumer this. Anything Microsoft does is automatically anti-consumer. So by Phil coming out and saying, don't pre-order, wait till you see it and then pre-order, he's basically trying to footstep around the fact that if it came out, even if people like Aaron Greenberg came out and said, you guys should pre-order Scorpio, it's going to be the best console ever, blah, 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 blah. Those kind of things you'd expect someone to say to pre-order a console. It's going to drive people off the wall because they're like, well, no, because da-da-da-da-da. If you look at social media and how it reacts to announcements, it was the same thing with the PS4 Pro. When they announced the PS4 Pro, people were initially excited about it, and then when it launched, there was all these people that were like, oh, they lied to us about it, blah, 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 blah. They didn't. They didn't promise 40K, 4K, 60 FPS every game, blah, 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 blah. The thing is that people are trying to read a whole console launch that's going to happen in 8 months' time that we don't have any facts about off of one singular tweet reply.
Does anyone else think it's too early to do a massive new console launch?
Just a little bit.
I think maybe 2 years, and then I think doing a whole new thing might be okay. But
I just think because I think we're finally getting the amazing games for this console generation, and I think we're just getting there. I think The Witcher and Metal Gear Solid were the start of it, but they could still be played on the older consoles. I think games like Dishonored, Watch Dogs 2, which is actually really good, Resident Evil. I think we're finally getting the really good games. Red Dead Redemption's coming out this year.
Horizon.
Hold off, and last Horizon. Well, we'll talk about that. We're getting the amazing games. We're getting the BioShocks, the Red Deads of the last generation. Let's hold off and let's eke out everything we can from the current gen consoles and then move on.
Except I'm not really seeing much of new IPs flourishing just yet, but that's a little different. I got the tweet pulled up here, so more context. So this guy named KS38 says, awesome. Also, Phil, can we pre-order Scorpio? Oh, sorry, no, he says, awesome. Also, Phil, when can we pre-order Scorpio? Thank you for everything, by the way. Phil says, wait until we show you games on it before you pre-order, and thanks. That's it. that is the only thing you have to say. Partially because you can't pre-order right now, because I don't think you can.
Well, so basically he's come out and said, use common sense and see what we have to offer before buying our console.
Right. That's all I got out of it. That's all I got out of that tweet. Now, the fact that people have been able to make 10, 12 paragraph articles out of that one tweet is just astounding to me.
I just find it funny how he would tell someone that when that goes against his best interest.
Yeah.
That's funny to me.
But I look at it like you're confident. If you're all right, using an unrelated thing to the console war. But I'm a soap salesman. If I'm selling soap, bars of soap. And I walk around and I'm like, hey Mike, I want you to buy this bar of soap.
Dude, get away from me. Who sells soap in the street?
Anchorman seal of approval soap. Just buy it. You don't know what it does. You don't get to try it. You're in the store. You see me out there on the shelf, like like just pimping out my little soap bar. Like, hey, buy it. You can't try it. You don't see what it does. You're just like, hey, it's got Anchorman's name on it. Let's buy it. Let's try it out. Like, but you're buying it for that sole reason. You don't know anything about the actual product. But at the same time, if I'm really confident, I go and I say, hey, Phil, I want you to buy this soap. Not because I'm selling it, but because the soap is so damn good. This thing will do so much for you. It will clean. It'll make your whites whiter. It will make your colors more vibrant. It'll regrow your hair. It'll do all this stuff, and it can actually do it. I'm that confident in the product that you will buy it because of what it can do, and you're going to see what it can do for yourself. Here's a free sample. I want to show you what it can do. I think doing that is anything else.
Sorry, man. I interrupted.
No, that's to me. I see that as confidence. I am confident in my product that I want you to look at it before you buy it. I want you to try it out for yourself. I want you to see what it can do before you say, okay, I'm going to throw money on it without seeing what it is.
All right, well, that is the most dangerous thing that any video game person can do. I genuinely mean that word dangerous. I think if he's going out so confident, that'll rub off, and everyone will now think that it's either amazing or terrible. There will be no middle ground, as there never is.
I don't know about that.
Just keep quiet. I don't want to hear anything about the console until E3.
I don't think the console's going to be what a lot of people think it's going to be.
It's going to be a black box.
Yep.
I think people need to lower their expectations.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of my friends at work was so excited about getting a PS4 Pro. He was so excited about it. He went out and bought a 4K thing. He was so excited to be able to have 4K because he couldn't afford the PC to do it and yada, yada, yada. So he bought the 4K TV, bought the PS4 Pro, and he's PS4 Pro and went back to his original PS4 because the Pro patches are so far behind on some of the games. Like, he was still waiting on, I don't know if it's happened yet, but he's still waiting on the Final Fantasy 15 Pro patch, which I don't think still has happened. And everything else, it's like, I don't want that to be the experience. Like, if you're going to sell us an upgraded console, that's cool. But all those comparison videos, like Digital Foundry, when they're doing the PS4 versus PS4 Pro videos, and like the frames per second was worse on the Pro, but you were playing it upscaled, and then they're like, well, if you played on the lower settings, so you might as well just play it on the original console. The PS4 plays, I think, 98% or 99% of all games at 1080-60. So,
I think 1080-60, but
yeah, it's like 1080-30. But what I was gonna say is, like, people are getting so hyped up for this thing because, like, back at E3, they're like, it's 4K, 60 FPS, no compromises, the highest quality pixels, and all that stuff. And people are forgetting that this is supposed to be a console, and it's supposed to be affordable. And I know they said it's going to be a premium product, but they're not in the business to lose money. So, I mean,
that's what PCs are for.
Exactly. Like, if you want all of that stuff, go buy a PC, and PC is great. I mean, I don't have a gaming PC per se, but the PC ecosystem is great. Like, I love playing games on Steam. But yeah, I think we all need to, or not we all, but like people in general need to lower their expectations so they're not like so devastated when it's not in line with their expectations.
I totally agree. And I was actually going to say that, Phil. I mean, people got to remember that they have to build this new console to a price. And as the original launch of the PS3 showed, and as the initial launch of the Xbox One showed, gamers are a really price-conscious group of consumers. And if this isn't priced reasonably, like, I would say 500 max in my opinion. If it's not priced that or lower, this thing is not going to sell. And the other thing that Microsoft needs to address, I think, is this is going off what Nick was saying, is about if a game is going to get quote unquote patched, because I don't know exactly what they're going to do. Nobody does. If a game is going to get a Scorpio patch, they have to be clear what games are going to be supported and what you're going to get. Because one of the main problems now with the PS4 Pro is that you don't know if a game is going to get patched, and if it does get patched, well, what is going to get patched in? Is it just going to be upscaled to 4K, or are you going to get some 1080p enhancements, or is the frame rate going to get bumped? You don't know what you're going to get, and I think Microsoft kind of needs to enforce that with developers too. Like, it needs to be made clear what exactly you're going to get for the money.
Yeah, I think you're right, because going back with the PS4 Pro, I think CD Projekt Red confirmed that there would be no Pro patch for The Witcher 3 on the Pro. And that's a game that's like, why wouldn't you put a Pro patch on that? The game is gorgeous as it is. It could look so much better.
No, but I don't think it can look better. I think it looks really good because of the limitations it had. That's why Nintendo games never lose their sheen.
Because they work within their what they're able to do.
Exactly. They squeak every ounce of power out of it, so it looks exactly good on that. And the moment you try and upscale it, it loses it instantly.
Well, I'm saying
the other day was Twilight Princess. I was looking at Twilight Princess, and it's still a gorgeous game. Like the only thing that it had that was really kind of weird was the fog thing to kind of hide the distance, but that was pretty much it. And if all you do was take that out, just take out the fog, it looks amazing. It still does. And they don't have to do much to it. And they really work with the limitations that they have to make games that hold up. What was it? I was actually looking at pictures for Ganondorf because I was going to do a picture on Twitter, and I was looking through I specifically looked at Brawl, and oh my gosh, so the character models still look good. It's impressive. They really do very well with that.
And let's not forget the Wii is not an HD console.
No.
There's that as well.
Right, and that kind of stuff stands up, but you could improve some technical aspects.
Yeah.
Like, I know one thing a lot of PlayStation fans have been asking for ever since they announced the Pro was a Pro patch for Bloodborne for 60 frames per second, which I think would be absolutely incredible for that game.
That would be pretty good, actually.
I feel ever since this generation started, I always felt like 60 FPS should have been the standard. And when we see a lot of games running at 30 FPS and below, a lot of games struggle to maintain 30 FPS. It's disappointing. So that's
Homefront.
Dude, that game looks terrible. But
I think you'll find that's because it was terrible.
I never play. I wouldn't touch that game with a 10-foot pole. But yeah, I mean, with the Pro and soon to be the Scorpio, that's something that should have been like a given from day one. Like, improve the frame rate of these games. Either get them to run at a completely locked 30 or get them to run at 60. I mean, 60 should be the industry standard at this point.
Yeah, I agree. My thing is, I really don't care about 4K personally. If the Scorpio can get games running at 1080p native 60 FPS locked and keep that constant for all games, then I would be happy with that personally.
See, I think with consoles, the focus, if they were going to go for a higher graphic fidelity, they wanted to shoot higher, they should have gone for 1440 and 60 FPS, because 60 FPS should be the standard. There's no excuse for it. Like, if Scorpio comes out and they've got 4K games, but they're still running 30 FPS, I'm going to be majorly disappointed in that. Because that's my biggest problem with the PS4 Pro. And when I was looking at pricing out, buying a PS4, me and my wife settled on getting a Slim because it didn't make sense to
spend the extra money to get something that isn't going to outperform.
I'm not going to get better frames. Frame rate increases your pleasure of playing the game. If you play a game at 60 FPS for a while, and then you go back and start playing a game at 30 FPS, you really notice that.
I completely agree, because it's half the frame rate. Like the 30 FPS, your input response is so much slower. Like for example, like recently they just made Battlefield 3 backwards compatible on the Xbox One, and I fucking loved that game on the 360. I went back and played it, and it didn't feel the same because I had been so used to playing Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4, and those both run at higher than 30 FPS, and it's like it's almost unplayable. And 60 FPS definitely makes games more fun just inherently because it's reducing your response time.
Yeah.
There's something really weird I want to bring up because there's the whole frame rate discussion. I don't really mind if a game is 30 if it still plays fine. I think like games like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and slow games like that don't need to be in 60. And I think saying everything has to be in 60 is, I think, a bit totalitarian. And then there's the fact that, like most films run at 23.8 frames per second.
But here's the thing with film: you're not
there's
interacting with film. Like you're not pressing a button you don't play a film, you watch it.
You're not interacting with the film; the film's interacting with you.
Yeah, and I kind of agree. Okay, so this can be a subjective thing, where you don't mind that it runs at 30. For me, if a game runs at 30, it's not like I'm just not going to play it. I mean, I just finished Far Cry 4 on the PS4, and that runs at 30, and it's fine. But it would be objectively better if it was at 60 frames per second.
I think if a game was aiming to be as realistic as possible, then I understand your point. I get you. If you want to be really, really realistic, then 60 is probably the best way to go because it looks the most lifelike and moves fastest. But I don't think games need to be 60.
I think a lot of it depends on a game because there's certain games. Like I totally agree with you, James. Like for example, a game like I'm going to throw it out like BioShock Infinite. Let's say for example, I think that game like that where it's mainly cinematic based, and there's a lot of story to it, and it's about the environment and the atmosphere. That game could get away with 30 frames per second. 60 would make it better. Now, as somebody that plays a lot of multiplayer shooters, like Modern Warfare Remastered, Titanfall 2, etc., that has to be 60 frames per second, in my opinion.
Is Overwatch 60?
Overwatch is 60, I believe.
Okay.
I think with shooting games in particular, because and especially with the controller, because controllers, if they didn't have aim assist, they would suck for shooting things. Because like the imprecise nature of the stick would just get in the way of playing the game, and 30 FPS already hinders that. So 60 FPS for shooting games on console is just really important to me, and I would really like to see that more. Like I said, if it's 30 FPS, I'll still play it. It's not like I won't play it, but I just think it would be a lot better with 60 FPS.
Right, and we have to ring the news bell.
Yep. But anyway, as a thing to generally wrap up the Scorpio topic, I think in general, when it comes to your expectations for Scorpio, you should kind of curb your enthusiasm a little bit.
Yes.
There. All right, had to do that.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
All right, so we have big news.
Can we make that our theme tune?
This is Multiverse podcast. We have to talk about it.
Multiverse show.
It is our civic responsibility to talk about it. Ben Affleck has officially stepped down as director of the Batman movie.
Oh, I'm out. I'm not going to see it.
Yep.
Straight up, I'm not going to see it. Wait, you know what? I'll wait till they announce who directs it.
I probably won't see it regardless.
What do you think, Phil? What do you think about it? Mr. Batman poster.
Fuck it. Okay, yeah. This is coming on. Okay. Oh, after
point at it in shame.
Right over there, sir. Right over there.
Wait. What's that on the other side? Is that the darkness?
Wait, what's that?
On the other side of your head.
Oh yeah, Darkness 2.
Oh god damn it! Wait, what film is that behind it? Everyone, this is Phil's room.
Edge of Tomorrow and Interstellar.
Oh, good Oh, fantastic! You redeemed yourself.
Yeah, I like that movie. But
I want to read this a little bit real quick. I want to read this what we know so far. According to Ben Affleck we did an interview with Variety. He will no longer be directing the Batman. He wrote the screenplay, and he says Affleck, who wrote the screenplay and will remain on board as both star and executive producer of the film, has been expressing slight differences of opinion with the studio for some time, indicating he was more concerned with perfecting the script before going forward, while the studio had concerns by hitting their release date.
Right, okay, all right. I have major things to say about this. Okay. You hire a director because you want him to direct your film. If you want somebody just to shoot your film, don't hire good directors. I'm going to tell you a little story about a man called Alfonso Cuarón. You all know who that is?
Nope.
Gravity.
No. Oh.
And Children of Men, if you've seen it. He also directed the third Harry Potter movie.
Oh, that was good, actually.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Do you know why? Because they hired a director and let him do what he wants. You can bring people into franchises that have pre-existing stories, pre-existing scripts, and you can let them do what they do, which is direct films. You can hire people to shoot the films, and it's fine. It's fine, but it's never beyond that. That's why let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. That shouldn't work on every level, but you had one guy who believed in it, and that guy happened to write and direct your film. That's all you need. If you have one guy who believes that film will work in the director's hot seat, it can work. If you hire somebody who is genuinely talented, Ben Affleck is a very, very talented director. He's proved that every time he stepped behind the camera, and he's a pretty decent writer too, and not an amazing actor, but a very good director. He could have made a very good Batman movie.
Yep, and here's his official statement for those of you wishing to hear some damage control.
Oh, God damn it.
All right. There are certain characters who hold a special place in the hearts of millions. Performing this role demands focus, passion, and the very best performance I can give. It has become clear I cannot do both jobs to the level they require. Together with the studio, I have decided to find a partner and a director who will collaborate with me in this massive film. I am still in this, and we are making it. We are currently looking for a director. I remain extremely committed to this project and look forward to bringing this to life for fans around the world. And Warner Brothers made a statement that said Warner Brothers fully supports Ben Affleck's decision and remains committed to working with him to bring a standalone Batman picture to life.
Yeah, because they.
So basically, basically what we're saying is Zack Snyder's got another job, right?
Oh God!
Right,
God! No.
You know what? If Zack Snyder directed, I actually will never watch that film.
That man is a hack. I've never liked any of his movies ever.
Stylistically, they look great. Like
but
I cannot knock the man for that. But
he knows how to make a film look good. But in terms of being able to watch it and it being good is an entirely different thing. Like, I was really excited to watch Batman versus Superman. I was super pumped, and I went to it with one of my best friends, and we both walked out of that movie. We looked at each other and went, "What the fuck did we? We will never get that 2 hours back." The shit movie. And the only reason why I have the poster on my wall is because I like the imagery. Like you just said, Zack Snyder is good with imagery, but I don't think he's very good with anything else.
Oh, screw it. Let's get Kevin Smith to make the Batman movie.
Oh God, do it. I want to see it.
Here's the thing. It'd be really good.
See, what they need to do is if they want a really good Batman movie, they need to let someone who really, really likes Batman make it.
or somebody who doesn't like Batman, but who gets it, like Denis Villeneuve. Oh, nobody knows who that is, do you?
You know who they need to get? They need to get the guy who does the Transformer movies. Then we could just truly have an awful.
Oh,
Michael Bay,
I knew I'd get
Zack
James
Snyder team up for the first time ever.
how have they not worked together?
So many explosions.
Actually, how have they not worked together?
One giant boss battle. We'll have Mark Wahlberg and Megan Fox in Batman.
Batman versus
I'm trying to picture Mark Wahlberg as Batman.
With his car as a transformer.
Ben Affleck,
you know the Batmobile versus
That would be hilarious.
I'm just thinking of Mark Wahlberg from The
Lamborghini.
Happening.
God, that'd be hilarious.
Can
You
we
heard
get
everyone watching. We need a
direct
Mark
Michael Bay
Wahlberg
Batman
Photoshop
movie?
and a Robin costume next to Ben Affleck. The surprise Mark Wahlberg face right next to the surprise Batman. Like in Batman vs Superman where he
What?
turns over and says, I thought she was
No,
do that. Have
Oh,
that
yeah, I was just about to say,
next to Mark
what?
Wahlberg going like, what?
no.
What? No. What? No.
Have you guys actually seen The Happening, or have you just seen that scene?
No, I've watched that movie several times, and it's interesting. I mean, it's pretty horrible. The
Wait,
scene-
just on a slight tangent. Everyone's seen Split.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
It's really good. M.
Is
Night,
it
M.
now?
Night Shyamalan is back.
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves, please.
No, mate, he's made 2 good movies in a row.
What was the last movie he made before Split?
The Visit,
Yeah, they're The Visit. I didn't think The Visit
When did
was
that come
good.
out?
I thought it was okay.
2014.
When did what was it with Will Smith and his kid? What year
After
did
Earth,
that-
Oh, that movie was terrible.
2013.
Oh
I
God!
hated that movie. That movie was god awful.
Ugh.
Although
I'm
Devil,
more
I thought
excited
was
for
good.
Split because of the after credits scene.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only reason, though.
No. The film is good. I actually think the film is really good.
I was very particular because I heard interesting things about it at the end, and I asked someone who went to go see. I actually asked my sister. I was like, "Hey, what's this deal at the end?" And she tells me what it was, and she's like, "I didn't get it." And I'm like, "I got it."
I got it. I got it. The guy next to me didn't get it, but the guy behind me did.
It's been like what 12 years? been a while.
16.
What 16?
16.
Oh God.
Unbreakable came out in 2000.
My favorite M Night film was Signs. I love that movie.
Yeah, I thought Unbreakable.
I really like
was
that
the
movie.
last good movie from him, but
I think isn't it weird how like if Unbreakable and Scott Pilgrim versus the World had been made within the last 2 or 3 years, they'd be 2 of the biggest films ever.
actually, probably yeah.
They just came
I
out
agree
too
with you
early.
on that. Because Scott Pilgrim, it's such a nerdy fanboy thing, honestly, as a franchise. And it was
Scott Pilgrim
probably
came out
really
after the MCU started, but before the MCU became the MCU. If you
And
know what I mean.
Deadpool would have helped Scott Pilgrim a lot. It's that kind of vibe to me. But
Yeah. Oh God! Every time I watch Scott Pilgrim, it makes me annoyed because I wonder how awesome Edgar Wright's Ant-Man might have been.
yeah,
We're getting a new Edgar Wright film this year. That would be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Ant-Man was still pretty good even without Edgar Wright. But
I know, but like you know the visual joke of like Thomas the Tank Engine coming to kill him, and then it goes to the wide shot,
yeah,
and then it just falls over. I'm like, the whole film would have been that. It would have been amazing. It would have been the best Marvel film by a
there
long
probably would
way.
have been like the whole Ant-Man versus an ant colony fight. Like,
Oh, that would have been
like,
incredible,
epic
though.
battle scene, like, oh God, then back out a little bit, like, oh.
That would have been amazing. Oh, Edgar.
All right, guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about tonight before we wrap things up? We got places to be, things to do. Anyone else? Anything?
All right, before we go,
I'm-
we should all name the person we want to direct the Batman movie.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. All right, you start then. That's a suggestion.
Oh, damn. You know what? I'm gonna go. Last time, we've had one of the greatest directors working today make it. I want David Fincher to make a Batman movie. Because why
For
not?
people who don't know who that is, name some prior work.
Okay. Do you want the list? Are you ready for the list?
Yeah, go for it.
7. The Social Network, Gone Girl, Fight Club, Panic Room. David Fincher, Zodiac. David Fincher is arguably the best director alive. To me, the only person better than him is Stanley Kubrick, and I mean that. Yeah, David Fincher would be crazy good at directing a Batman movie because he would make like 4 films into one, and he could actually do it.
Honestly, for me, this is going to seem a little bit off the wall, but I'm a huge fan of his. I would love to see Martin Scorsese direct a Batman movie.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm a huge fan of his,
I was
and
thinking something
I don't know
close,
if it would
too,
be
which
good
makes
or
it
not,
worse.
but I would just be interested to see what he would do with it.
Oh, would you get Leonardo DiCaprio to be the Joker?
Oh God.
You know what? He'd probably be a good Joker, though.
He would be. He
He
would be a
wouldn't know
good
anything
Joker.
he touched. Let's be honest here.
Wouldn't you? If Martin Scorsese called you up to do a film, wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'd be like Jonah Hill. I'll do it for free. Throw me on it. Like, I was thinking something close, but like I would have to have some say in the subject matter before assigning a director. I'd scrap Deathstroke entirely. I would scrap him. I was thinking you took Martin Scorsese from me for a little bit, so that throws me off for a little while. I was thinking either like a Francis Ford Coppola kind of deal, or who was it?
The Coen brothers.
Someone in the comments said David Lynch.
Oh,
That would
be crazy.
Yeah, that would be.
That's so. You know, he's still alive.
I'm looking at his
Damn it, that was
IMDb right now.
Scorsese too. I was gonna say the guy who did Shutter Island, but then that was Scorsese as well.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Wait,
go
who's
with
the guy
Quentin
who's-
Tarantino.
No,
Go on.
I was just about to say Quentin Tarantino. Either that or Ridley Scott.
No.
I'd agree. Scorsese would probably be better, but I would want it to be more like focus on the gangs, focus on like the state of Gotham as a territory. Have Two-Face in there, have Black Mask, have even throw Joker in there, but like make it so like there's a clear definition of who does what, of like this is how the town is ran, and like have it be like I could imagine a great Batman movie. Imagine there's a sit down, and it's called by the Joker, but no one knows who, or not even Joker, just somebody else. You could even I'll even allow Deathstroke to be in there, but have it be like there's a meeting, and they all show up. There's a commission, like the Joker. The Joker walks in, and his guys are like the pack from like Fallout 4's Nuclear World DLC. Like they're just crazy random people, and like they're just kind of in there, but they're like the brute force thug, crazy, unpredictable types. And then you got like Black Mask walking in there with like your typical like old Italian mafia style guys walking in there real smooth. Like why am I sitting with these jokers? These are crazy dudes. And then you got like having Two-Face or Penguin or somebody else like that, and having like this commission of like 4 big villain types with their gangs, and then you have like Deathstroke show up and say, "I'm gonna kill Batman." Like basically resubmit the position of the Dark Knight, but with Deathstroke entirely, and having a really stronger gang vibe. That's the one thing we never really get from Batman movies. They don't really let you focus on the gangs too much, and or at least the gangs that matter. Like we always get like the only ones we have really to go off of are, well, the old Batman movies from the 90s and 80s. But then after that, you got like a few little random guys here and there from the Christopher Nolan movies. But like nobody cares about these guys. Like I want to see, like have it be like, okay, we're gonna kill Batman, but set it like an Arkham kind of thing where there's a ticking time clock. It's one night.
What do you guys think of David Cronenberg?
That is the worst idea.
I could give you two directors I would never let touch Batman. One,
I'll give you one. Zack Snyder and
okay. Well, besides Zack Snyder, we don't talk about him. James Cameron, because the Batman movie would be 3.5 hours long and would make no sense.
So just like Batman vs Superman.
You know, all I'm gonna say is to the James Cameron argue. I'm gonna say 2 films. All right, Aliens, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Put him on for the sequel of Batman.
This is the sequel.
He's got a good track record with sequels.
This is the sequel. That's the thing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's the first standalone movie.
I think you'll find it comes after Batman and Superman. It's a sequel.
What? So Captain America: Civil War is not the third Captain America movie. It's actually the seventh.
So who's the other guy you wanted?
The other guy that would be a purely awful Batman movie would definitely be Peter Jackson. There'd be hobbits in it, guaranteed.
That would be a total
or a 25-foot gorilla in there.
Can I just Peter Jackson's made really good films that aren't Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and King Kong. Did you guys see Heavenly Creatures or The Lovely Bones or the goriest movie ever made, Brain Dead?
Dead Alive. It's called Dead Alive here, but yes, I've seen that, and I love.
I think you'll find it's called Brain Dead in its original format. Therefore, it is its name. Anyway.
Well, I'm just saying that that's how I came across it.
I don't care about America.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, guys, we gotta wrap things up. It's been a really good show. It's been very nice. Man, it feels we had really good discussion tonight. I really enjoyed that. First of all, I want to say thanks, Phil, for showing up on the show. I really appreciate it. Kind of last minute, but man, that was fun.
Well, thank you for having me, bud.
Woohoo! Go Phil.
Huzzah!
Oh, I used even the sound for you. All right, guys, we'll wrap things up. We'll do our little outros. We'll start with my co-host Nick.
Glad to be here again. You know what, James? We're gonna sell this after the podcast now. We're gonna do it the only way British people and Canadian people fight. We're gonna sit there and apologize to each other over tea. Okay. That was great.
What are you talking about? The British fight all the time. We fight because we have free healthcare.
So do we.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, we're gonna fight.
My outro.
All right, our sound master general.
Say who I am.
Oh, James.
Sorry, Hans Zimmer now scores my life. So yeah. Yes, at James_S Wilson. Come to Twitter so you can see me and Nick fight.
Ooh, I gotta see this. We're selling tickets.
I was gonna say I haven't told them that I'm 6'6" and 300 pounds yet, so we're okay.
Well, I'm 6'1" and very scrappy.
Ah.
All right.
Get in the octagon.
Our newest co-host, Mike.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for having me on the podcast again. Check me out on www.ticgn.com and on Twitter and Xbox, Mike P. The Truth. And don't forget to check those links down in the description because we are giving away an Xbox One S and a Nintendo Switch on the Inner Circle. So make sure you check those out.
Wait, we're not giving away the 6th Saturn?
No, we gave that away last year. Don't you remember?
Oh.
You missed, man. I think nobody even won.
Nobody won because we gave away 10 Sega Saturns. Nobody won.
All right, and so we got our guest for the evening, Phil the Gamer. Plug your channel, man. Let everybody know who you are, where to find you.
All right. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at P_Diker66. I'm on YouTube, just Phil the Gamer. On Twitch at Phil the Gamer 62. That'll do it for me. Thank you for having me on.
Phil, before you go, are you part of the Switch Gang?
That's a different topic for a different podcast, my friend.
Well, the thing is, if you're not part of the Switch Gang, now this is something that I think Kofi made up. If you're not in the Switch Gang, we got to hit you upside the head with a bottle of Grey Goose.
Oh shit! Michael and Phil are gonna fight.
Oh,
man, we got double feature tonight.
Anchor, you have to be referee.
This is the best part because they don't have free healthcare, James.
Oh my
Hardcore
god! It's gonna if they're gonna start strong, get really restrained, and then just leave.
Oh god, it's gonna be great. Anyway, guys,
and when we fight, this will be the music in the background.
What's up?
When we fight, this will be the music in the background. Oh no, it's an ad. Oh no! Oh no! I don't care. Trading 212. This will be the music. In the red corner. That's enough of that.
All right, guys. This has been Multiverse, the Multiverse Show. Got used to saying that. Please go and follow the new Multiverse Show Twitter account. It's on Twitter under Multiverse Show. Just one big word. You can find it right there. Or if you follow me on Twitter, you can also find that out as well. I retweet there regularly. Also, let me know. I'm going to be putting up a poll on there. We're not really sure what color we want to do the tie the word show in just yet. I'm going back and forth, green, yellow, blue, red, the usual. I'll put up a poll on there. You can vote. I'll figure it out in a little bit what looks best from what you guys think, and we will see what we can do. Anyway, guys, this is the Multiverse Show, the greatest show on Mondays, and we can say that now because we're the only
Monday.
show on Mondays. Anyway, guys, we'll see you guys later, and we're out of here.